Hello everyone, welcome to A Clear Perspective. I'm Serene. Recently, Fox had a bombshell story. A Fox 26 news reporter named Ivory Hecker decided to come forward to tell the truth because she couldn't stand the corruption of the media. Project Veritas interviewed her. In the interview, Hecker showed her recordings of her supervisors, Lee Meyer, Fox 26 assistant news director, and Susan Schiller, VP and news director. In the recordings, Hecker was told to prioritize the opinion of the station's general manager and the company's CEO above that of the audience. Here, we see that the audience is the target of their deception. The audience's feelings are not important at all. What really matters is the feelings of their bosses and their interests. To be more precise, it's the opinions of the people that their bosses serve. Fox has to serve advertisers and the moneymakers and those who really hold the power. Therefore, the issue of censorship arises. If the news is not in the interest of advertisers and those in power, it will be filtered out. A sales coordinator for Fox 26 admitted in the interview that the CDC spent a lot of money on ad campaigns. As we all know, the actual controller of the CDC is Fauci. Let's review what Fauci said. At the beginning, Fauci claimed there was no need to wear masks. So Trump passed on the message and was heavily attacked by the media. Later, Fauci said that wearing 2 masks is better than 1. He made many contradictions like this. Initially, he claimed that he had not funded the Wuhan lab, but then evidence proved that the National Institutes of Health funded the Wuhan Institute of Virology. So Fauci then said he could not control what the Wuhan lab did. In any case, such a person is untrustworthy, yet he spent lots of money advertising on Fox. Think about it, what kind of news could be reported on Fox? Since the CDC, represented by Fauci, has invested heavily in this media outlet, reported health-related issues would naturally have a certain tendency. Fox can potentially make money from vaccines if they can get paid for promoting them. Fox definitely wouldn't want to hurt the interests of the vaccine companies. The negative news about the vaccine must not come out. Now that there is negative news on the vaccine, they say it's a conspiracy theory. Since the TV stations and the media are serving the vaccine companies, can we trust the so-called experts they've interviewed? Who are these experts serving? I'll leave it for you to judge. Nowadays, there are too many people who are deceived by unscrupulous experts. So when we watch a news report, we must first find out who they are serving. Is it the advertisers or is it the authority? If a media serves advertisers or authority, their reporting will be biased, either for power or for money. Many big media, like the mainstream media, do not speak the truth. They create a public opinion environment and make you think that is the mainstream. As a small YouTuber like me, I am not bound by anyone and not tempted by anyone's interests. I only serve the audience and the truth, and this is my greatest advantage. And for Fox editor-in-chief asked Ivory Hecker to stop reporting on the effectiveness of hydroxychloroquine on social media. The editor-in-chief claimed that if Hecker continued to report on the effectiveness of hydroxychloroquine, she would be a failure as a reporter. Moreover, the news director repeatedly asked her to refer to the so-called pseudo-scientific article in New England magazine. As mentioned earlier, many experts have been serving the interests of the vaccine manufacturer. So are their words really credible? Finally, Hecker concluded that the audience was deceived by carefully crafted stories. When asked why she came forward, Hecker said she wanted to get rid of this kind of fictional news reporting and the corrupt media. She wanted to tell the real story without worrying about the corporate interests. She said, "At this point, I want out of this narrative news telling. I want out of this corruption. I want to tell true stories without fear of whether it fits the corporate narrative." We now see Ivory Hecker, the reporter of Fox 26, who has bravely come forward to tell the truth. But the reality is that Fox fired her. Fox is a conservative news outlet in the United States. What about the leftist media? Of course, the anchors will not be broadcasting fake news all day long, but the news will certainly be a mix of true and false, which is more deceitful. Once someone questions them, they would come up with some real news to say that the questioner is a conspiracy theorist. Next, let's talk about the latest data on vaccination in the UK. According to the Mail Online, experts say the Indian variant of the virus is wreaking havoc in the UK. After 42 fatalities linked to variant, 30% were fully vaccinated. According to the Daily Mail, disturbing data shows the Indian variant of COVID-19 could be the dominant strain of the virus in the United States in just 1 week. Outbreak.info claims that the highly transmissible strain known as B16172 or Delta now makes up about 10% of U.S. cases, up from just 1% less than a month ago. According to the Daily Mail, the strain, which was first detected in India, has wreaked havoc in the United Kingdom, where it now makes up 91% of all new cases. It has caused COVID cases in that country to surge by 109% in a single week, with the government now considering extending lockdown restrictions by another 1 month. As of the 10th of this month, the vaccination rate in the UK has reached over 60%. Didn't they say that the vaccine could stop the spread of the virus? Daily Mail also said, a study by Public Health England shows 29% of the 42 people who have died after catching the new strain had received both of their COVID vaccinations. Didn't they say that vaccination could reduce mortality? How can this be explained? Now let's look at the data from Europe. On the BL, the Beauty of Life site, it said, in Europe, as of June 5th, 13,867 people had died and 1,354,336 injured following a COVID-19 vaccine. According to Vigilance, a European database of suspicious drug reaction reports. This data is very detailed, including what kind of vaccine was given, what kind of adverse reactions occurred, and what kind of complications led to death. If you are interested, you can take the time to study it yourself. Take Singapore as an example. 34 people passed away due to the CCP virus, and the number of people infected is 62,263. Most of them have recovered. Of the 34 people who passed away, most of them had pre-existing chronic illnesses. It is evident that very few healthy people have passed away because of the CCP virus. However, the number of adverse reactions to vaccination in Singapore was 2,796, of which 95 were serious symptoms. This was reported by the Singapore Morning Post in early May and should represent the official voice of Singapore. I don't need to say anything about the comparison of this figure. I believe everyone knows it very well now. In other news, former Pfizer executives admit to the fact that they didn't design the vaccine to end the pandemic, but only to reduce the pandemic to endemic. This would ensure that there will always be a demand for vaccines, creating continual revenue for the vaccine companies. If the CCP virus turns into something like the flu, all who have been vaccinated will need to receive annual vaccines. Of course, if you are having a life-threatening case of COVID-19, it is still advised that you get vaccinated to minimize risk. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services official data on vaccine side effects, the side effects on every single vaccine developed since 1991 contrasts tremendously compared to the COVID-19 vaccine. Now let's compare this with the influenza vaccine. For example, the number of deaths associated with influenza vaccination in 2019 and 2020 was in the tens each year, while the number of deaths associated with the new vaccine against COVID in 2021 was over 5,000. The data speaks for itself. Lastly, we would like to remind our viewers again that our platform may be restricted on social media. We would like to recommend the YouMaker platform to everyone. Our videos are available on YouMaker. Please subscribe and we hope to see you there. Thank you for watching. See you next time.